Welcome to the latest edition of Diocese in the News. More than 90 couples, joined by family and friends, packed the pews of the National Shrine Cathedral of Our Lady of Guadalupe in August for the 2024 Catholic Diocese of Dallas Golden Anniversary Mass.
We cherish your love. In fact, we need to see your love for one another in the vows of marriage is a beacon of Christ's love for his church. And we need to see this now more than ever.
We had a chance to catch up with a handful of the golden couples. They shared with us their love stories, what it takes to be married 50 years, and what the Golden Anniversary Mass celebration meant to them. Take a listen.
I was working at New England Telephone, and in one of my assignments I was assigned to their engineering center in Framingham, Massachusetts, west of Boston, and I was in the basement in the technical support center.
And I was on the second floor.
She was on the second floor. We met on the stairway. Actually, my secretary was her roommate, and they took pity on the single guy.
Yes, we wanted to treat him to a home-cooked meal.
So they invited me over for a chicken dinner.
That's the only thing I could cook.
Yeah. So, and then we started going out after that. So, yeah, just a few months I asked her if she'd be my wife.
6 weeks later, he proposed.
Yeah. She loves everything. I mean, she is just she's a warm and giving to no fault type of, that's essentially, she doesn't know how to stop, really. And
I love you.
Well, I love you too. I said, and you're just as beautiful as you were the day I met you.
Thank you, honey.
We met in medical school. Well, if you ask him, he saw me on that first day when we were enrolling, but anyway.
Our no marriage is perfect. Ours is not perfect either, but what helped us get through the most difficult time is our faith in God,
Getting married in a church, you get the blessings of God that will guide you all through your marriage, because marriage is not really perfect. There will be ups and downs, and those are the things that will guide you throughout your marriage.
Next to a story about the work to offer others hope and support. September is Suicide Awareness Month. This is a time to spotlight the profound impact of mental health and how it can have an impact on individuals and communities. Texas Catholic editor Michael Gresham introduces us to a local artist who is doing so much for others, not just in her studio, but through a program called Mental Health First Aid.
My mother first exposed me to art, my brother and I both. There was always just this nagging and yearning desire to paint, to work in pastels, to draw. My work shifted into somewhat of a darker place, but turned brighter. And I was struggling and I was grieving after my brother passed away in 2018. He died by suicide, and his name was Dean Franks. To help other people understand what mental health was, that to me it's fundamental. It's the building block. And it absolutely mirrored what Jesus Christ did. And I didn't, at that point, correlate that so much at that point, but later on I recognized this was my journey.
Mental Health First Aid is a program much like CPR for physical health, but it is like CPR for mental health. So it teaches people how to recognize early signs and symptoms, worsening signs and symptoms, and when something is a crisis as it relates to mental health. We're really trying to move from away from stigma And one of the ways you do that is by having conversations about it and, eliminating the fear about it and giving people the proper language, to talk about it. And so just making connections with others surrounding mental health is a huge start within our community. So thank you.
If you are interested in learning more about mental first aid or Victoria Rios, we invite you to visit dallascatholic.org/mental health. The Catholic Schools Office recently recognized 160 people for their milestone years of service. The ceremony at Bishop Lynch High School was a chance for us to take a closer look at the dedication that many of our educators show every day and through the years.
On behalf of our bishops and this entire CSO team, I thank you sincerely for your service. Please know that you are loved and you are a gift, for through you, our kiddos experience the love of Christ.
But I think the most important thing is, how do we share God's message with them? And that can be different for everybody. But the main thing is to share the gospel, encourage them to be themselves, but to reach out and know that Jesus is there for them. It comes back to me is that I'm able to share my faith, with our students. Excuse me. And they shared their faith with us. We learned so much from them. I'm sorry. I just get emotional about that part. It's just so important to me.
It's really important for us to recognize the work of our teachers because it is such a work of art. And our teachers bring such joy with them in the classroom every single day, even through the difficult times. And our students need that kind of role model in their lives. So we are happy to celebrate with them in this very special ceremony.
These are the faces of those who make the difference in the lives of God's children. These are the faces of the Catholic school educators in the Diocese of Dallas. On September 14th, the Star in Frisco was the place to be as Bishop Lynch and John Paul II joined 4 other Catholic high schools for a day of faith, football, and fellowship.
Everything in the human experience has to be a part of our faith, has to be part of the formation we have for our students. So if football is the way in which we can interact with you, the way in which we can get your attention, the way in which we can give you goals to grow as a human being, to grow as a disciple of Christ, then we're going to encounter you there.
The prior evening, Bishop Burns celebrated a Mass for coaches, players, and their families at Prince of Peace Catholic Community in Plano.
My friends, we cherish our Catholic education. We cherish the schools that we go to. It is indeed a mission of this wonderful church of ours. And it is a blessing to get together like this, when we cherish our relationship with Jesus Christ, the one who has called us to be faithful disciples.
The Catholic Bowl was just one of the many events on a very busy weekend in the diocese. On September 14th, Bishop Burns also celebrated the first Diocesan of Dallas Aviation Mass. There are so many people who work in the aviation industry and are very strong in our communities with their faith. It felt fitting to have this Mass and reception in their honor.
It is good to be with you to celebrate this Eucharist, and in particular, I want to say again a word of welcome to all those who have answered our invitation to be here for this Aviation Mass, those who work in the aviation industry, our pilots, our flight attendants, our ticket agents, our reservationists, our bag handlers, all who help us as we are along the way.
Finally, did you know it was 1 year ago that the National Shrine Cathedral of Our Lady of Guadalupe became a national shrine? Please know, if you are interested, you can take a virtual pilgrimage to this wonderful landmark at any time by visiting the Texas Catholic website, texascatholic.com. We appreciate you checking out some of our latest happenings. Thank you to our facilities and maintenance office at the Pastoral Center for allowing us to be up here on the rooftop overlooking the beautiful Holy Trinity Catholic Church campus. We wish you a wonderful day, and God bless you and yours.